More and more political differences are leading to divorce. The phenomenon of couples filing for divorce as a result of political differences has become more common in recent years, reflecting a deepening polarization in society. No, that's simply because people are stupid and they talk about politics. I don't think people used to talk about politics some years ago that much. Simply they talk about politics and they realize, okay, the guy I choose as my husband or wife has some really bad takes. Okay, let me divorce her or him. So yeah, this is also one of the reasons why there are not that many marriages. Politics should not belong into relationship, but I guess I understand if you have such vast differences. I mean, if you understand yourself on a personal scale, if you respect each other, and if your experience with your partner is good and there isn't really any red flag, then this should be theoretically overlooked. Like, I understand if he supports something like, banning abortion, then I guess you should definitely talk with him about this, or if she, I don't know. I honestly don't have political discussions in family. It breaks apart families, it breaks apart friendships. If you think your political views are much more different than of your friends or wives, then simply ignore them. A lot of people does that. A lot of people have really good friends that they do not agree with politically. Just because you have different views on politics does not mean you cannot be friends or partners. That lies in some other things, that lies in different variables. It is unusual for political disagreements to come up in a marriage, but the current climate has heightened tension to a breaking point. I think it was exacerbated after our last presidential election, said Sharon New, a family attorney with New and Lowinger, a law firm in Bethesda, Maryland. Bethesda. So, Todd, want to explain me what is going on here? People have some differences, but they really have been highlighted by what's going on in politics at New. They find themselves dealing in their marriage with deep discussions where they are so fundamentally different that they start to get angry. Don't have political discussions in family or with your friends. There you go. I solved it for you. New has been in her career for nearly 40 years and has seen couples get divorced for all kinds of reasons. Over the past 5 to 7 years, however, she has seen more people than ever before cite politics as the main reason for wanting to split. For many people, political beliefs are no longer seen as only as opinions. They are often viewed instead as a core values that shape someone's view on morality and social justice, making it challenging for couples to reconcile different views. It's a trend that was first reported by Axios. When I started, I very rarely had people coming to see me to get divorced over political differences. News said it's affecting something as sacred as marriages, so it's happening and it's a problem. According to the US Census, both marriages and divorce rates have gone down between 2011 and 2021. In 2011, the marriage rate was 16.3 marriages per 1,000 women, and 2021 it was 14.9, and the divorce rate dropped from 6.9 to 9.7 per 1,000 women in 2011. Obviously, I mean, that's because women nowadays don't really, there's not really that much of a, how to say it, there's not much of a pressure for them to actually get into marriage, to theoretically get into a marriage that could produce them as being frustrated, depressed, stressed out. They simply now, by that time, they simply do not jump into marriage because people pressure them. So obviously there are such instances. However, nowadays, people are much more cautious when they pick their husband or wife. And it's probably a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. Like, you should find someone you will be truly happy with, not someone you will be miserable with after like some years. Be patient and someone good will come to your life as long as you are willing to keep a healthy lifestyle, a healthy body, maybe try sports a bit. I know it's hard when you are working 9 to 5, however, you can do it, alright? You can do it. Adjust your diet maybe a little bit, and that can do wonders. then in home, like, I don't know, buy weights, maybe work with them like twice, thrice per week for like, I don't know, half an hour or so, and it will start to make differences. I promise you. This is not a advice though. This is not a financial advice though. Obviously, everybody works differently. However, generally, this should work for a lot of men and even women. You put some of the blame on smartphones and social media. Of course, let's blame the social media. I mean, yeah, social media are toxic, but this is the most boomer thing to say. As the technology allows people to be constantly immersed in news, political expression, and passionate debate, it has become front and center in people's lives, whether they are young, whether they are dating, or whether they are married, said New. She cited one specific example of a liberal woman she represented who's married to a Republican man. The man had repeatedly downplayed her January 6, 2021 riot on the US Capitol, which was one of the reasons she brought up wanting to end the relationship. She could not fundamentally wrap her head around that. If you broke up with him over that, then how did you even get married? Like, were there no emotions? Were there nothing? Like, why were you married in the first place? Like this sounds something that you definitely should be angry about, but this really isn't something that you should consider to have a divorce. This seems more like a woman moment to me, if anything. Because you married him based on some emotion, some love. And if your love pretty much ran out because of his view on January 6th, then I would say that the love was not really that sincere, and you are simply not able to tolerate people who aren't perfect or you simply do not agree with politically. Like, if you find somebody who you really love, that you should be able to withstand some of the negatives, or not some big red flags, but some minor or medium red flags. Like, this is a minor to medium red flag, alright? Like, this, I mean, it should probably won't really affect you much. However, if this were to affect his behavior, then obviously cut it out, I guess. If he would started to act differently because of the January 6th stuff, then obviously cut it out. However, if he really did not change any of his behavior, but you simply disagreed over what happened there, well, this seems a little bit silly to me. There's no comment section here. So yeah, a short article. I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to read it. So yeah, this is pretty silly to divorce somebody over such a reason. But yeah, I understand people. The politics have been brought to forefront. However, I think this is only part of the reason. Well, okay. This reads more and more political differences are leading to divorce, which is true. However, the divorce rates have been going down, alright? We have to look on this in a bigger picture. So yes, whilst there are increasing, divorces over political differences, there are lower divorces. So, while this is definitely something that should be looked into, we cannot really decline or deny the benefit the social media and everything around has on women, that they simply probably make, I don't want to say better decisions, because hey, I see sometimes what sort of decisions people make to marry somebody, and then they divorce like some year after because they marry somebody based on some erratic, on some very explosive emotions of love. Yeah, don't do that. Like, seriously. 1 year, or at least spend maybe 1 to 2 years with that person. Learn things about him or her, learn how he or she behaves when put in stressful situations, when is in a tough, situation, and you'll be able to find yourself a partner. Obviously, this is going to take a lot of time, which means you're probably not gonna get married in 26, which is not a bad thing. You can have children in 30s or even in 40s. This is not a bad thing. Just find yourself someone you will truly love. That is the most important thing.